Meanwhile, Coinbase is down in the pre-market. In a blog post, the crypto exchange says it has received a Wells notice from the SEC threatening a lawsuit over its planned product that would allow users to earn interest by lending crypto assets. As a result, Coinbase says it will delay the launch of its Lend product until at least October. Interesting thread from Brian Armstrong. Some really sketchy behavior coming out of the SEC recently, and then he goes into what he calls story time.
Let's talk about that. First of all, there's a man named Gary Gensler. He taught Bitcoin at MIT. He's a regular. I don't know who Armstrong's lawyers are, but this has got to be one of this is more stupid than what Musk did. I mean, Musk poked fun. This is actually saying, remember the CFO Haas said, we got to school Gensler. My contacts within the SEC are not happy about this. And I don't want to call it moronic. I'm going to leave it at one of the most stupid things I've ever seen.
Really?
Wait, what part of it is stupid? Publicly putting this
sketchy?
out on...
Calling Gensler sketchy? David, this is not Harvard versus Yale.
Understood. Clearly, Mr. Armstrong is frustrated, saying that they're being threatened with legal action before a single bit of actual guidance has been given to the industry and the products.
You know what's a good strategy?
Now, typically
Shutting up.
Yeah, typically you would be advised by counsel, I would think, to not air your grievances publicly with the SEC.
Remember what Haas said, CFO?
No. Tell me.
We're going to have to school the SEC.
Oh, right. I do remember that. Sorry. Yes, I remember what she said.
Having known the SEC and people who are in the SEC and had a lot of people who went to law school with me in the SEC, they don't take kindly to being told that they need to be schooled. And the difference between Coinbase and the SEC is the SEC has unlimited firepower. If they deem this thing as security, which I think Gensler's going to do, then it really doesn't matter. I don't care if people think that they have a sketchy behavior. They're a regulator. They're regulated. And they regulate Coinbase. So I think Gary, and I've known Gary for 20 years, is probably the most sophisticated of regulators. So the idea that Brian Armstrong, obviously a self-interested man, wants to take on the SEC, what does he think? What is it, like a street fight? Sharks, Jets?
Right.
I mean, really, Carl.
All he's asking for is some clarity. He just wants some clarity for them so they understand
that is so wrong, David.
The world that they're operating in.
Some really sketchy behavior coming out of the SEC. Clarity? Why not say, listen, I'm not sure about the SEC.
Those may have been ill-chosen words, and you're right. They may
suboptimal choice and an ill-advised strategy.
Suffer consequences from doing that. But at the same time, you could understand perhaps their frustration in being...
Well, why don't they
not
tell their
understanding
spouses
what it is they're supposed to do?
Well, you don't air your frustration in a tweet, Gary Gensler.
Well, I assume if you believe the SEC has to operate in a political framework to some degree, he may be trying to sway enough public opinion to pressure the SEC into altering their behavior.
I think the idea of pressuring the SEC, it's easier to pressure the Southeast Conference, that SEC, than it is, which, by the way, some teams look pretty good there, David, than it is the actual SEC. And I think it's a shameful behavior, frankly. I think it's shameful. I think that there should be respect for the regulators. I think that this shows a contempt for the regulators that is not right. I think that these are people in government who are serving and doing a very good job, and to trash them publicly in Twitter and on air is not just ill-advised, but it's saying, listen, we want war. And you can't go to war with the regulators. They're always going to have the last word. So I think Armstrong should choose his words more wisely, take back that tweet, and understand you can't go to war against the man who might regulate.
What about the product itself? Do you think it is suspect?
Look, I think that... I'll give you a good example. I don't think it matters what I think. I think that it makes sense to be able to lend against. What matters is Gensler, and that's where they're making a big mistake. Now, had they sit down with Gensler and Gensler explained his position rather than schooling Gensler, I think it would be good. But imagine if Jamie Dimon said, you know what, the SEC's got sketchy behavior, and I got to school him. David, who regulates J.P. Morgan?
The Fed.
And SEC?
Yes. I think
Jamie Dimon called Gensler
a bozo. In there every day.
Let's say
they got a lot of people who live at J.P. Morgan.
Gensler is a bozo, and he doesn't know anything, and good luck to him.
Yeah.
No. sketchy behavior. David,
Jamie Dimon, A, has more credibility. If he were to actually choose to publicly lament something, it would be taken perhaps more seriously because he's Jamie Dimon, probably the singular guy in the financial services industry. Secondly, he probably would know enough not to do that. And why do you want to choke him?
Because Musk makes cars and he can poke fun.
Right.
These guys make finance. No fun.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.